If you think all of these are the same, well, we've got some things to discuss. Let's get started. So what fueled this on is we just did the review of these new Milwaukee pack out tap and die sets that come in metric and SAE, so you can check that review out. But in the comments and on social media as well, we got a lot of comments talking about chasing threads with taps and doing jobs like would be chasing threads and not cutting threads. So big difference between a couple of these things going on here. So we've got thread chasers here. We've got tap and die set here. We've got a tap index here with drill bits, so that's kind of the same. Of course, part of the Milwaukee tap here. A high-speed tap here meant to be run in with an impact wrench, a drill, a socket, whatever you really want to, but high-speed tap. And this is a combination tap, which includes the drill and the tap there that you can obviously run in with a drill and then carefully then thread the hole. Typically works better in thinner steel, but you can get by in thicker steel as well. So we got some do's and don'ts to do with that. And then again, thread chaser here. And then something really important, thread tapping or cutting fluid is a very important thing. WD-40 will get you by, but I don't recommend with cutting threads or even chasing threads with WD-40. So let's get started and talk about what we have going on here. Because what happened was a few people made comments about using taps and say chasing an exhaust manifold thread, or where the exhaust manifold bolt goes into a head, and using that tap to then clean up those threads after you break out a busted bolt, or maybe even it's cast iron cylinder heads, and so you need to chase the threads because they're rusty, dirty, greasy. You don't do that. I mean, again, I'm sure tons of people are going to say, I've done it all my life. Great, that's just great. But I'm just telling you, a much cheaper kit like a thread chaser kit will work much better at doing that than with actually a thread tap that's going to cut new threads. And if you get it in there a little wonky, it's going to cut its way in. It's not going to stop. And next thing you know, you've got two sets of threads in there. Now you've weakened the hole. Or worse yet, you've gone in crossways and cross-threaded everything. So anyway, big differences there. Now here's a good example here. Here's an LS aluminum cylinder head, and these holes here are pretty clean. I can take my bolt here and I can run that in with my fingers, no problem at all. So that one's nice and clean. I believe that one's a little dirty. Goes in a few threads, and then that was not too bad. But this one here got a lot of crud in it, and right there it gets really tough to turn. And you can see there's grease all in there. It's probably a bolt hole that is not typically used or is turned around to the rear of the motor. And if you put it back on and used it on the passenger side, let's say, then it would put it back on the front of the motor, or vice versa. And then you would need that for some type of accessory. So we need to clean that out. Well, if I took a tap and ran that in there, if I got it crooked, it would just start cutting new threads. Not the way to go. The right thing to do is take your corresponding thread chaser, and in this case it's a 10 millimeter. I believe it's a 10 by 125 or something like that. Anyway, and you get that started in there, a few threads. Now the cool thing is, let's take a look at this thread chaser. What you see, it's kind of like a tap, except the flutes in here, or the reliefs where there are no threads, it's not quite as wide. But what that is for is, as it gets debris out of those threads, it will capture it in those flutes right there so you can clean them out later. But again, it doesn't tap. It's not cutting threads. It's just going to chase through those threads. And then if there's a thread or two that's just kind of laid over, you can work that in. And if it's really bad, just kind of work it in, back it out, work it in, back it out. But if you know it's nice and clean, I would, number one, take a little bit of lube. And in this case, I'm using some Brute Lube from Champion Cutting Tool. They know all about cutting tools, taps, dies, and they have some great lube. Their Brute Lube is awesome. Now, I can take a socket, a wrench, run that in, but I also know that I can take a power tool, and if I'm careful, just kind of run that in. Not too hard, because I don't want to go through and I can run it in and out. And if it's bad, you may want to do this a couple of times. And now you see all the grit and grime and grease that it has captured in those flutes and even in the thread. So I will definitely want to run this through a second time. In fact, let's clean this out and you'll see here. And I'm even going to take my air tool. Clean that up. And we'll run that again. And again, you can run this in and out until you're confident that you got everything clean. Especially if you're building a motor. You want everything nice and clean in there. And now we'll take our bolt, and now we can thread that in as far as we want with our hands because those threads are nice and clean. Now we'll recommend, especially in blind holes like this, especially aluminum cylinder heads, aluminum blocks, especially if you're thread chasing like a cylinder head bolt that goes into the block, you want to make sure you get all your fluid out of there because you don't want to cause a hydraulic lock when you go to torque a bolt down in there, and then next thing you know, you're cracking a cylinder head or cracking a block. So I like to stick my blow tool all the way down in there, put a rag over it, and make sure we chase all that junk back out of that hole so we don't have any fluid in there causing a lock. It's a great example of a thread chaser and not a tap. And now, same idea, but with a bolt. I believe this is a body mount bolt. No, it's a radiator support bolt for, I believe, like a 69 Chevy truck. So anyway, so crud all over the threads, been on there for 50 years. We need to clean those up. And this is not something you want to do with a tap. Again, we're going to go to the thread chaser with the corresponding threads. Make sure you get the correct threads. And let's go ahead and put a little oil on there. Get it threaded by hand. Again, this may be something that you need to do a couple of times. You see we still haven't got all the way to the bottom. We can blow this out. And again, you can see all the flutes in there that capture all of that crud. Now, we've got clean threads. No more rust, no more grease. Ready to thread back into the cab or into the frame or put a nut on it. Now, if you've got a piece of steel, or maybe you're drilling a head or drilling a block and need to put threads in it in a clean hole, or maybe you need to oversize it, whatever, once you drill the corresponding drill bit, which we're not going to go over that right now, it's easy to find those sizes, then obviously you're going to need a tap because a thread chaser is not going to make threads in a clean hole, especially when you're looking at something like this where we're probably a 1/2 inch thick. So I've got a 7/16 inch tap here. Again, we'll use a little oil. And I won't go over all the tips and tricks of cutting holes, but we want to make sure that we start out as straight as possible. And then cut in a couple of turns, and then as it gets going, you want to go in a 1/2 turn or so and back it up. And when you back it up, that's actually breaking off what you've just cut and putting it in those flutes. You can break a tap, especially a small tap, if you're not doing that and keeping it clean as you go. And you can kind of feel once you get past the belly or through the main part, and then it just starts turning really easy. And then you know you've cut all the way through. And you see all of the shrapnel there that we've cut making those threads. So you want to make sure you blow those out, clean that up before you put it back in your case. And by the way, I don't know if you saw that, but that was actually a 10 millimeter tap. So that was probably a little undersized for the size hole we had drilled. But it worked, and now let's do a 7/16. And you'll see this will probably cut a little deeper, a little harder to turn. Yeah, so already I'm feeling the difference. And you can hear it break off right now. You feel it, and you hear it. Like right now, it's about as far as I want to turn it without breaking it. And you'll see, I'll come back, and it's kind of freebie right there, and then right here it's going to break them off. Right there, and then it frees up. So you'll feel them break off, cut some more, about a half turn, back them off. And if you want to, you can just go a quarter turn at a time and back it up. Sorry, I'm kind of repeating our review of the tap set. Didn't mean to get this deep into cutting threads, but just showing the difference in actually cutting threads, and rather than just getting dirt and grime, we're actually cutting steel, and that's what we don't want to do into a hole that's already tapped. Now I want to show one more of the taps. This is a high-speed tap, so meant to be used with an impact wrench, an impact driver, even a big drill, and you see the HSS. So basically you got a high-speed tap here, meant to be run with a power tool. Now you still have to be a little bit careful here. Can't just run it in with all your gusto. You want to kind of pay attention to what's happening. Make sure you've got plenty of lube on there. And I would recommend you maybe starting it with a wrench or with your hand a little bit. Get it pressed in. And I'm going to take my impact driver. So a little bit different. Meant to be used at high speed. And you see it cut through there very quickly. And now that hole that didn't have threads, easily threaded in. And then lastly is a combination drill and tap. I'm not crazy about these things. I think it's kind of bringing the worst of two worlds together. But they do work. Like this is a smaller tapped hole. I'm going to open it up to a larger tapped hole. And so I've got the drill bit portion here and then the tap portion. You just got to make sure you're staying straight and kind of back off as you hit the threads. And there you have it. Again, please do not ever chase threads with one of these combination drill and taps. And one last thing, if you're ever in a situation where you can't get the thread chaser nut on there, you also have thread files that come in these thread chasing kits, and it tells you the size of the threads, and you can use this almost like a sawing motion to clean up the threads. So you get the corresponding side to the correct threads, and then you can go like that and clean up threads that maybe are laid over. So those are really handy to have. I hope this helps. Hope it explains a little difference between thread chasers, taps and dies, and even getting into high-speed taps and also combination taps, and when to use those, when not to use those. Have a great day. Keep smiling.